What if I told you John the Apostle saw missiles and drones 2,000 years ago? On the desolate island of Patmos, an elderly apostle received visions so terrifying, so precise, that he could barely find words to describe them. John the Beloved saw the end of the world, and what he witnessed is happening right now. A prophecy so old, yet so terrifyingly accurate. It's unfolding before our eyes. Tonight, as you sleep, hypersonic missiles streak across Ukrainian skies like falling stars. Nuclear submarines patrol beneath poisoned waters. And in the deserts of Gaza and Syria, swarms of combat drones hunt their prey with the precision of demonic locusts. John called it the apocalypse. We call it Tuesday's news. What you're about to witness will shake you to your core, because the book of Revelation isn't prophecy anymore. It's documentary footage. Revelation chapter 6, verses 12 through 14. John writes with trembling hands, "The stars of heaven fell to the earth. As a fig tree drops its late figs when shaken by a strong wind, then the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up." For centuries, scholars dismissed this as metaphor. They said John was describing some distant cosmic event, asteroids perhaps, or literal celestial bodies crashing to Earth. They were wrong. On February 24, 2022, the world watched in horror as Russian Iskander missiles rained down on Ukrainian cities, each projectile blazing through the night sky like a falling star, leaving trails of fire in their wake. Hypersonic weapons traveling at 10 times the speed of sound, streaking across the heavens exactly as John described. But it wasn't just Ukraine. In October 2023, Hamas militants fired over 5,000 rockets into Israeli airspace in a single day. Witnesses described the sky as filled with falling stars, as Iron Dome interceptors collided with incoming projectiles, creating spectacular explosions that lit up the night. North Korea's latest ICBM tests, China's hypersonic glide vehicles, Iran's ballistic missile strikes. Each launch fulfills John's ancient vision with mathematical precision. The sky is literally receding as a scroll as sonic booms from hypersonic weapons tear through the atmosphere. John saw our modern warfare and described it the only way he could, as stars falling from heaven. The question isn't whether this prophecy is being fulfilled. The question is, how many more missiles need to fall before we admit John was right? Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 and 11. John's vision grows darker. Then the third angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many men died from the water, because it was made bitter. April 26, 1986, Chernobyl nuclear power plant. A catastrophic explosion sends radioactive material across Europe. The Ukrainian word for wormwood is Chernobyl. Coincidence? Listen to this. The Chernobyl disaster contaminated the Pripyat River, the Dnieper River, and hundreds of groundwater sources across Ukraine and Belarus. Exactly 1/3 of the region's water supply became undrinkable. Thousands died from radiation poisoning. John's prophecy fulfilled with surgical precision. Today, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant sits on the front lines of the Ukraine war. Russian forces have occupied Europe's largest nuclear facility, turning it into a potential weapon. Military experts warn that a single artillery strike could create a disaster 10 times worse than Chernobyl. Iran's nuclear program continues advancing toward weapons-grade uranium. North Korea conducts underground nuclear tests that contaminate regional water supplies. Pakistan and India maintain nuclear arsenals pointed at each other across shared river systems. The Fukushima disaster released radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. Water that's still flowing, still contaminating marine ecosystems a decade later. TEPCO admits they're running out of storage space and may have to release more contaminated water directly into the sea. John didn't see a meteor. He saw nuclear warfare. He saw the moment when humanity's greatest scientific achievement becomes its final curse. When our great star, nuclear technology, falls from the heights of progress and poisons the very water we need to survive. Revelation chapter 9, verses 1 through 11. John's most terrifying vision yet. And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit, like the smoke of a great furnace. Then out of the smoke locusts came upon the earth. The shape of the locusts was like horses prepared for battle. October 7th, 2023, Gaza Strip. Hamas unleashes something the world has never seen before. Coordinated swarms of combat drones, hundreds of them, rising from concealed positions like locusts emerging from underground hives. These weren't the crude devices of previous conflicts. These were sophisticated killing machines, moving in perfect coordination, hunting Israeli targets with artificial intelligence. Witnesses described the sound as like a million angry bees. Exactly as John prophesied, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has become the world's first full-scale drone war. Iranian Shahed 136 kamikaze drones swarm Ukrainian cities nightly. Each drone programmed to seek and destroy, operating with a hive-mind intelligence that seems almost demonic. John continues, their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots, with many horses running into battle. Modern combat drones have camera faces that track human targets. Their rotors create a distinctive hair-like appearance in flight. Their armor plating gleams like iron breastplates, and their sound. Listen to footage from any modern battlefield. That mechanical roar is exactly what John described as chariots with many horses. The United States military is developing swarm drone technology, thousands of autonomous killing machines that can coordinate attacks without human control. China's military parades feature drone swarms that move like living organisms. Turkey's Cargo-2 drones in Syria hunt targets independently, making kill decisions without human operators. John saw artificial intelligence before we had electricity. He witnessed autonomous weapons systems before we understood what autonomous meant. These aren't insects from some supernatural realm. They're the logical evolution of human warfare, and they're multiplying faster than we can control them. The pieces are converging with terrifying speed. Russia's hypersonic missiles fall like stars over Ukraine, while nuclear facilities become military targets. Iranian drones swarm across Middle Eastern skies, while enriched uranium accumulates in underground bunkers. Every morning, headlines read like verses from Revelation. China's military exercises in the Taiwan Strait. North Korea's submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The doomsday clock sitting at 90 seconds to midnight. Closer to global catastrophe than at any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. John didn't just see the end of the world. He saw the weapons we would use to end it. He witnessed our technology turned against us, our greatest achievements becoming our final judgment. The falling stars aren't coming. They're already here, streaking across our skies every night. The bitter waters aren't a future threat. They're flowing beneath our feet right now. The demonic locusts aren't emerging from some mystical abyss. They're manufacturing in defense contractors' facilities around the globe. So I ask you this question, and I want you to really think about your answer. If John's visions of falling stars, poisoned waters, and mechanical locusts are playing out in real time across our planet, how much prophecy is left unfulfilled? Are we witnesses to the greatest fulfillment of biblical prophecy in human history? Are we living inside the book of Revelation right now, watching ancient words become modern reality? The signs are multiplying. The timeline is accelerating. The visions that once seemed impossible now fill our news feeds every single day. If this video has opened your eyes to the prophetic significance of our times, then you need to subscribe to this channel immediately. Because what we've uncovered tonight is just the beginning. There are dozens more prophecies, hundreds of biblical predictions that are manifesting in our world right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, share this with everyone who needs to understand what time we're living in. Because the book of Revelation isn't just ancient scripture anymore. It's tomorrow's headlines, and we, the generation chosen to witness its fulfillment.